Y'all? Played like a puppet. We're gonna talk about a couple things tonight. Um, I'm not saying this to. I'm about to talk about Wack 100, but I'm not about to this down this black man. I'm not about to do that. But I'm about to use him as a case study for why you should never side with the other man over your brother man. We're gonna play this video, and then we're gonna talk about a little bit about some stuff that's been going on. It's his brother that was said that he had to have uh, sex with men to provide for his child, and I was thinking, in the days of the internet, if you do that, that mean you gay. Like you can't say you straight. And we're gonna couple that with E.J. Johnson's conversation about him wanting to be with straight men and the Joe Budden podcast and how we're starting to see a resurgence of them trying to redefine the term straight. Usually that only happens when the Democrats are in office, but now they're trying to do it now. Like, hold on one second, I sent his text message. His text, sorry about that. And then I'm gonna get to it, but I was just right before I was gonna go live at 10, but I pushed it back to 10:15. Cause I see what y'all mean, chat room, and we're gonna talk about this at the end. I was like a few times I gave some shout outs to the Viral Way podcast and still shouts out to them. I don't have no issues with those brothers, but some of y'all in my chat room, y'all was warning me. Y'all was like, "Hey, these cats be on some of that shucking and jiving stuff sometime." And so I just happened to click on the video right before I went live, looking for this other video because I saw that they got Snoop to interview. So I was like, "Man, that's dope as fuck." I love watching Snoop interviews. So I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'm gonna watch their interview with Snoop." So I clicked on to see more about it. And now they just went and talking all kind of stuff about reparations. I'm like, hold on, I was coming to listen to the Snoop interview. Just real quick, just real quick. I was watching this.
That's what I want y'all to realize is you are losing money. That's what y'all need to be paying attention to. You know, about 2 to 4% of the population in Los Angeles County.
This is them talking about why we don't need to talk about reparations because of energy crises are going up.
They trying to buy up all the farmland because they want to.
Now we got to go through different corporations just to get on.
Just a bunch of nigga babble.
Get on a laptop just to network with our people, bro.
I'm like,
go look up all these AI major powers.
Like, I want to go back to that part.
Also makes zero sense because the people that you're asking for reparations from are controlled and are literally the same system that said it was legal to lynch your black ass. All your ancestors, they made it law to legally lynch them. They made slavery legal. When the slaves were freed, the same people you're asking for
So that's why we don't need reparations. And the chat room was killing him when he was saying this stuff. I'm not gonna review that whole video, but I'm gonna talk about it a little bit at the end. It was just some of the most obtuse nigga babble I done heard in my life. I'm like, hold on. So I'm gonna address that defeatist talk last, because I want to get down. I want to get down to my garage and smoke some of this weed. So I'm gonna play. So that's what we're gonna talk about last. But what's up, chat room? Spirit Wonder, Mr. Smoke, PJ Allen. Salute to everybody up in here. Salute to everybody in here. But let's start on the initial topic before I get too off. And we're going to cover all three topics tonight. You said they're all former gangbangers, Jay Sanders? It makes sense. No disrespect to the gang members, but some of y'all, boy, woo. What's up, Brooke? Everybody salute to Brooke. I heard you on Tariq's YouTube, or I guess y'all are on Twitter. I mean, on TikTok. I can't be. I never catch his TikToks. But I heard what you had to say about reparations in New York on TikTok. On Tariq's show. So salute to you, Brooke. And salute to everybody for getting Hidden Colors funded. I'm glad to see Hidden Colors 6 met its goal. That's dope as fuck. POV Alaska, what up? Derek Folks, what up? But I'm gonna play this video because let's get back to the topic. And then we're gonna have free talk. I'm gonna get through these three topics, and then we're gonna have free talk, all right? But this goes off of for those at Wack 100 is the rapper manager, and when he was going at it, when there was a thing that went off with Kendrick earlier this year with Doechii, where Adin Ross, the white guy, this guy in the middle, he went off on Doechii, called her all kinds of bitches, and Glasses Malone, and a lot of people checked him for doing that. And what he did when the community was checking this white boy for calling Doechii a bitch and all kinds of distasteful things, the person that he called was a guy on the left here, Wack 100. He called him Uncle Wack, and he was saying that, hey, he literally said they're bullying me. So he called Wack 100. This white boy jumped in black business, and then when the black men checked him for getting out of line with the black woman, he called Wack 100. And so that's why we're talking about this. That's why we're talking about this, because this is a case study of them going to black people when they need you, but when the when the shoe is on the other foot, they don't give a damn. So this white dude got in the middle of black business and pitted black men against black men. He pitted black men against black men. Well, last week there was a fight with Blueface, the rapper, and apparently Blueface, for whatever, he did not get paid. According to Blueface, he was supposed to get paid more than $300,000, and the fight was last Saturday, and as of yesterday, he did not get paid. So his manager here, the person that the white dude Adin Ross called to split two black people, tried to work it out, and this is what Adin Ross had to say in response. This is for everybody that likes playing it down the middle, that likes when you know you're dealing with a known bigot, you think you're gonna be the cool Negro around the bigot. Well, this is how that works out. Listen to this real fast.
Paid. There's actual contractual obligations that he didn't follow.
Can y'all hear?
He was supposed to wear a rainbow patch on his shorts. He didn't. And he's going to have to pay $100,000 for that. He breached another confidential, like he can't speak about anything, money, how much he got paid or whatnot.
This is the white boy explaining why Blueface and Wack 100 didn't get paid. Listen to him explain why he didn't pay him.
And we asked him to retract his statements, and he didn't. We gave him some time. We didn't want to do it. Now we're going to do it. So, yeah, we tried. We tried working with him and Wack, and they weren't really fucking with it. And they didn't want to work with us. So, sucks. But yeah.
This young ass white dude sounded like an old grown ass white man. What's up, Hinder Sonic? I ain't seen you in a minute. This grown ass, this young white dude, because remember when he was saying all kinds of N words. Remember, a lot of black people was like, "Oh, he's young." Who remembers that? When he was splitting those black men apart, not say N words, he didn't say that, but when he was doing suspected white supremacist tactics, a lot of black folks was saying, "Oh, he young." Not black folks, these niggas. They were all like, "Oh, he's young. He's young. Maybe he don't know. He's young. He's young." This motherfucker sound like he done have lived 4 lifetimes of business. Cause he sounded like a real shyster when it come down to not paying, ain't he? He sound like your boss.
We tried. I literally wanted to pay him multiple times. You could ask Ack. Every fighter got paid after brand risk. Every fighter. Everybody's paid except him. Why? Because you can't go around saying that shit's rigged, and you can't not wear a rainbow patch on your shorts when you contractually sign an obligation. And yeah, you can't talk about how much you're paying or being paid. So yeah, it sucks because he is probably one of the worst people to ever work with when it comes to business ever. And
he's clowning your client, Wack 100. This is the man that you allowed to split between you and another black man. And listen to how you're talking about your client.
Yeah, it sucks. Allegedly, in my opinion, of course. Really sucks. So,
if it sucks that bad, you'd pay him. If it sucks, you'd pay him. It don't suck that bad.
That's it. Well, Sway, look at Gypsy Crusader, someone I legit hates me. So easy to work with. So easy and professional. And very easy to work with. And it's like the exact opposite here, man. You know? It is what it is. So even he stood up for me, you know? I have no say, and he knows this because he's fought before. I have no say on who wins and who loses. No say. And if people think I'm gonna fucking jeopardize a real business, brand risk that actually could sell it one day over a $10,000 friendly wager with academics, you're out of your fucking mind. I'm making millions of dollars.
Now this morning,
he came with the whole reason why he couldn't pay your black ass. Now listen to Wack's humble response.
20, just to be clear, say 20K bet with me and Adin.
Wait.
If we say something derogatory, ethnicity, and certain people feel like they can bully certain people based upon their ethnicity and their, I guess, sexual preference.
So what Wack is, the angle Wack is taking is Adin is bullying Wack based off of Wack because of Adin's race and over sex. So he's bringing the LGBTQ style bullying and race. Hey, look, I can't listen to too much bullying talk from somebody who likes to bully other black people with physical violence. See, when there's other black people like Wack 100, he bullies other black people through physical violence. I'll never forget that video he posted of my guy Boo Capone. When Boo Capone, something happened with Boo Capone was getting roughed up by security. He's talking about this what happens when you mess with me. That's what you did to Boo Capone. Now this white boy done did something to your ass. Listen to the tone when a white boy do something. Listen.
You know, if we say something derogatory at somebody from the community, they'll say you being disrespectful, it's hate speech, all these type of things. But why is it that somebody from the community feel that they can make a pass at you and you can respectfully correct them and let them know, hey, I'm not from that community, I'm a straight man. But yet they can continue to make the pass at you. And the minute you come out of character, the minute you issue a threat, the minute you get angry, you become the bad guy.
then Wack 100 goes on.
Salute the chicks move.
The truth is,
15, y'all tune in.
Here it is.
Sorry I had to come to this, but 100 some YouTube channel, the truth about Adin Ross and the boxing match, right? And his sexual advances at people. Hate to say it, but he tried his bully tactics, and I guess he thought we was gonna go street, and we kept it corporate. Adin, nothing in the contract support.
So you see here. So now Wack is talking about bullying tactics being used. That's very rich coming from somebody who uses bully tactics on other black people. It's funny how these niggas straighten up when it's one of them talking to them, you know? Y'all hold on 1 second. Trying to pour this wine in the dark. Pour the wine. Dig that girl. Spill the wine. Dig that girl. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Hold on 1 second. I just want y'all to see video of what's going on. So now we're going to talk about it. Now we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it now. We're going to talk about it. So what we have here is what is a major problem that we have within our community. You notice when Wack 100 is dealing with a non-black person, you saw how on his P's and Q's he was, right? He didn't do no nigga shit. He didn't wild out. And mind you, we're not talking about a little bit of money. We're talking about $300,000. Can you imagine how that man would have sounded had a black person cheated him out of $300,000 at least minimum, according to Blueface? Can you imagine that? It would have been all kind of goon talk. It would have been all kind of I'm getting my homies talk. Gotta wait some of this out. Y'all know that, right? Why is it when it's us, is take the fade, my homies, your homies, this block, that block. But when it's them, it's I'm gonna get a lawyer. He's trying to bully me. Now, first off, I want to say, I'm gonna leave room open. This could be a play. These cats do like running plays. So this could be a play. So I'm gonna leave room for that. I'm gonna leave room for the fact that, hey, this could easily be a play, you know? That may be very well true. So I want to give that disclaimer. That might be true. This could be a play. But we're going to take it from the point of view that it's not a play. We are going to take it from the point of view that it's not a play. We're going to take it from the point of view that this is all real and this is all happening because I think it's real. I do think it's real. But these cats do be playing games. So I'm gonna leave space for this possibly being a game. Okay? Got some more. As you can tell, it's got my refill. So I gotta change out my canisters, you know. This is the leftover, the dust. This is last shipment's weed. This is fresh weed. So, but I want y'all to pay attention to that. All right. Come on now. I packed this shit in so tight. There we go. Here we go. But yeah, just pay attention to how they treat each other. As black people, we cannot afford to have this kind of mindset. We got to learn how to treat our brother man the way we treat the other man. And we need to treat the other man the way we be currently treating our brother man. And I think that will go a long way in solving the race dynamic issue because it'll garner respect. And the first respect is respect of self. Respect of self is the bigger respect to have. When you respect yourself, you get respect. And when our tough guy class starts treating other black people the way our tough guy class treats white people, we're going to go a hell of a lot further than we are right now. And what we see with Adin Ross, what we just saw right there, is the issue that a lot of us have had, a lot of us squares have had with the streets for a long time. Not saying all the streets are like that. Not saying all the streets are like that. It's a lot of street cats, because I don't ever want to draw people to the monolith. It's a lot of street cats that are on point, they on code. You know, it's a lot of street cats that are on point and on code. So I'm not here to just sit around and be like, hey, this is how all street cats act. But what we do need is for more of our cats from the streets to connect with more of us squares and have these conversations and learn and have a level of respect and treat one another with respect in class. Those of us who aren't, who didn't bang, who didn't gang bang, who wasn't all up in the streets stealing, we also got to have respect for those that are from the streets, because they also have a legitimate gripe at the way a lot of square black folks looked at them and talked about them and treated them. So both sides have gripes, but we need to get over our gripes and we need to work together. But working together means working together, not working together when the white boy don't come play that pro-black shit after the white boy done screwed you over. That'd be the problem. Y'all get screwed over by the white boy, then all of a sudden you niggas turn into Malcolm, Stokely, Carmichael, Bunchy, Carter. No, nigga, y'all need to hook up and link up and be square with black people first before they screw you over. I don't like Wack 100 getting played like that publicly, because I don't want to see no grown ass black man get played by some young ass little kid, white boy. That should look bad for the culture. You in your 50s getting played by a white boy in his 20s? That don't even look good for none of us. That don't look good. That's how you twist one up real fast. A couple more too. But let me get out of this garage before my signal drop. Although my new mesh router should keep it cool. But anyway, Spirit Wonder said, Wack is whack. What's up, Dana Dane? What's up, Fela Speaks? What's up, chat room? A lot of y'all that came in here. I ain't been looking in the chat because I was too busy weighing out my new shipment. Just a QP this time, just a QP. That's the minimum order, the QP. That's the minimum order. Elasino said Tukey, Malcolm, Elijah Douglas. Right. This nigga turned into goddamn Robert Smalls, Nat Ida B. Turner, nigga. Like, there is no coming back. When, well, Wack did, when Doechii was cussed out, when that white boy called him, and he went and played interference. And remember, that wasn't the first time. That was not the first time Wack 100. He used to do that for Adam 22 all the time. And I say that because I still, no matter what people say, no matter how he move, I still got respect for Wack 100. I still got respect for Wack 100. Got you, Frank. I still got respect. Because, you know, he gets his artists and he gets his talent where they need to be, you know? And we all should know that he runs games. He says he runs plays. He said that much when he was talking about the whole fallout last year with Loose Cannon and everybody. He was very honest about running plays to get notoriety. So he's a master at that. And so, you know, I got respect for him. I'm not here to diss the man. I don't want no problems with the man. But I do want to use him as an example of what happens when you side with the other man over your brother man. You end up looking like a goddamn fool. I don't know. I see you, my goat, but I'm gonna stay out of that. I see you, my goat, what you said, but I'm gonna stay out of that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I ain't seen nobody's paperwork, so I don't want to throw those accusations out there. I just want us to be aware, whether he is or he isn't. Pay attention to how people move with us and them. But I see what you're saying. I ain't here about to. I ain't about to say you wrong either. What's up, Boris Shock? Cali Nola, I agree with you. I agree with you, Cali Nola. I'm not saying you wrong either. Malachi 2388, I ain't saying you wrong either, okay? But I run a foundation, so I really do have to be I do have to be cautious about what I say. Now, if y'all want to say it, then y'all say it. I ain't gonna tell you not to. I'm just not gonna say it. But chat room, you're free to express yourself however you feel. And just because I may not repeat it, don't mean I disagree. Appreciate that, my goat. But yeah, like I respect the way Thought Crimes on their channel. Thought Crimes be having people in their chat that be all out there. They be like, cool. See me, sometimes I be going hard on some of y'all sometimes. The thing is, if I ever go hard on you in the chat, it's not personal. I was just, my grandfather had a major influence on my life. So talking a little bit of shit is just in my blood, I don't mean it personal if I go hard on you in the chat. It's never personal. It's fun to me. What's up, Artist Life? Now I'm not on Carlos Rossi. I'm on Rancho Sasqua, Pinot Noir. Not expensive, but not cheap either. Some eloquence is key. But for sure, appreciate the super chat, my goat. Moda goat. I don't know how to spell it. But let's get on to the next topic. What's up, JB Furious? Let's get to the next topic, and then we're gonna have some free Q&A talk. I'm gonna kick it with y'all in the chat after I get this next couple topics out. Next topic is, we talked about this a little bit the other night. You had Magic Johnson's big, tall, gay son, EJ, say that he likes being with straight men. Straight men come after him. And then today I saw reports saying that this dude saying that he had to pop open his dookie shoot to raise money for his child. But he was saying that he's normally straight. No, if I understand, and I respect any man that's gonna do whatever he needs to for his child. But if you opening up your dookie shoot is the way to get it done, don't that already mean you in your environment? In that environment? I've been down on my luck. But any dude I've been around, if I needed to make some money, I was able to go roll with them and in a truck to go haul a refrigerator or help a woman move out of her house and use my strength. Drive Uber. You saw the Joe Budden podcast have a whole debate when about trying to change the definition of the word straight? Nah, man. Straight is straight. Straight, come on, classroom, is what? Straight. This is what they do. Remember what I told you a long time ago. Words are fiat. Just like money. Words are fiat, they're symbols. The only power fiat has is the power assigned by the people using the words. That's why meanings of words can change all the time. And English is a liar's language, meaning that words, the way words can be changed. That's and black folks, we use this power of fiat all the time. Back in the 80s, we said bad meant good. You know, we changed the power. Nigger meant king. Then they took it and they changed the context of slavery. And then we turned around and repurposed the term nigger to, it could mean you ain't shit. It could mean you my closest friend. Words have whatever power you assign to them. But certain words have a straight one-to-one connection. And the word straight is one of them. There is no opposing, there's no curve to straight. Straight's a mathematic term. Straight means line. Straight's another word for line. And a line is straight. Lines move in one direction, two directions, but they're straight, they're flat. Any bend in that line is no longer a straight line. And straight has a very solid definition, like the word orange. Certain words go beyond just power of fiat. Certain words is just that. Black, like your colors, straight, curve. A curve is always going to be a curve. These are shapes, cylinders. These are a sphere, a square, a ball, a rectangle. And a rectangle is 4 straight lines, 2 longer, 2 shorter. A square is where all the straight lines have the same radius. Straight is straight. It's geometry. And when it comes to sexuality and life, straight means you only go in one direction. Straight means you go in one direction. Okay? The minute it twists, it's no longer straight. And it's okay if you're not straight. That's the thing about what we've been doing. We've spent the last really coming up on 20 years. America in the last 20 years has redefined its relationship with the gay lifestyle, the LGBTQ lifestyle. Whereas 20, 25 years ago it was a taboo thing, now it's openly accepted. The reason why it's openly accepted, one of the reasons, is so that those who fit that lifestyle, they can feel comfortable living their life and loving who they love. And I have no issues with that at all. Everyone should feel comfortable. In society, I don't mind society doing what it has to do to make everyone feel comfortable. But the key word is everyone, not just a specialized group of people. And when it comes to things like being comfortable and feeling comfortable, that's an inside job. That's something that comes from within. Security comes from within. You can't give anyone else security. Security is something that no one can give you security. You have to be secure from within, and from within, it pushes itself outward. What's up, Stuns and G Mars? So with that being said, live your life. But you cannot infringe on the word straight. Straight is straight. If you like log jams, you're not straight. And that's fine. But you are who you are, and be that. You don't get to infringe on us on this side over here. You like the minute it's 2 men in the room and you smell 2 different turds, that's another world. That's a different world. And you should live in that world. You should be comfortable in that world. Yeah, I said log jams. Some niggas like log jams. That's cool. To each his own. To each his own. To each his own. To each his own. The only time there's an issue is when you come stepping on my grass. See, no, stop it. Nigga said toxic turds. Shit. Elicino, you ain't shit. See, man, nah. Elicino, you been agreeing with me too much lately, man. You got to go back to disagreeing with me so I can cuss you out again pretty soon. You been agreeing with me too much lately, dog. I gotta say some shit to piss you off so I can cuss you out again. Nigga said toxic turds. Like, I be liking when I disagree with some of y'all. But then I'll get people who just leave and they don't come back like, man, Dwann, you. I'm like, dude, it wasn't personal. It was just fun. Like, yeah, I called you a dickhead, but so what? There we go. What's up, Jay Jefferson? Nigga said Old Spice and Stetson. Old Spice and Stetson, wow. Yeah, like, I don't like that. And that's something that we have to stand up to. Part of living your life is living your life. But you don't get to live your life and step on my shoes. You don't get to rename me and call me cisgender. You don't get to do that. That's overstepping your bounds. Yeah, the chat is crazy. Y'all niggas are stupid. Y'all niggas ain't got no sense. Y'all niggas ain't got no sense. I gotta shave. Which takes us to the last topic of the night, and it's not in the title, because it kind of came last second. Salute to the chat. What's up, Big E? I always see Big E when he come in. It's like I always just happy to look at the chat when Big E comes in. I like not look at the chat all night. I'll not look at the chat for 15 minutes. And the minute I look at the chat, Big E just coming up in the room. What's up, Big E? Salute. That's real talk, Sleepy. Naming people is about power. Renaming is a power move. Fact, fact, fact. There's power in naming things. I want to that's a salute to Tariq Nasheed right there. You know, that's one of his major talking points, you know. That's one of his major talking points. It's funny too, because I used to listen to Tariq a lot. I don't listen to him as much as I used to. Not because of anything, but more so because I don't really listen to as much YouTube as I used to listen to. I mean, like, especially since I've been writing this book the last year and a half. I be in my book, man. I don't really be listening to nobody. Like, I have to have my own thoughts. So I purposely spend a lot more time just listening to music than listening to podcasts these days. Well, I did listen to him recently, and because I was going back to what we were talking about in the last topic. Going back to the last topic. I was watching a lot of y'all. I've been seeing like the Viral Ray podcast. I hadn't really watched them much, but a few of y'all here in the chat room, y'all warned me. Yeah, Elisino, YouTube does get redundant. That's why I don't take it personal when people stop watching my channel. I'll be like, well, they probably tired of hearing me talk. Shit, I get tired of hearing people talk. It is what it is. But I do fuck with y'all for real though. And salute to Black Alpha. Elisino, it was you. Appreciate you, Elisino. I was trying to figure out who it was. I knew Elisino, and I think Artist Life, you told me, you said, yeah, because I was like, I only seen like clips. I never sat down and watched the whole episode. But from the clips I saw when they were defending Doechii, I appreciated that, you know? And I thought that they had a good discussion with Glasses on Glasses podcast about, you know, when to step up and say something, when not to. So that's all I saw. But y'all see what's been happening the last couple weeks. And I don't like, I try to avoid this topic because I don't, even though I agree wholeheartedly what's going on with FBA, at the same time, I don't want to be an echo chamber at the same time. So even though y'all notice I do talk about it, I do pull back because I don't talk about it as much sometimes I want to, because I don't want to be an echo chamber. Some stuff I just let roll. But when people start talking about reparations, that means a lot to me. Because of the work that I've been putting in, and people like Dana Dorsey put in, and Friday Jones, and Camila Moore, and I'm drawing a blank to the other lawyer, two other lawyers. I want to name Tiffany Quarles, and there's another lawyer. I just can't get her. I see her face, but I can't get her name out right now. And one of my moms, Brandy Kane. I see the work that they put in, and I don't want people that are on the internet that just got a beef with Tariq Nasheed to stop what people out here on the grassroots are doing just because they don't like Tariq Nasheed. And I don't want to come off as somebody because I ain't trying to come off as somebody who always defend. I'm not here to defend nobody. If you ever listen to a Tariq Nasheed live or Twitter space, that nigga don't need no help. Tariq be going 1v20 and be slicing and dicing the shit out of people. So I'm not here to be his echo chamber. I want to make that very clear. That brother does his own. That nigga funny as fuck. What I do have an issue with is when people use Tariq Nasheed as a proxy to talk about those of us that are standing on lineage business. And I know I have certain people in my chat that aren't Tariq Nasheed fans. Y'all, it's some people that are regulars that do not like Tariq, and that's cool. I personally, because of what interactions on Twitter, well, not personally, because I don't know her, but in an internet way, I don't fuck with no Yvette Carnell. But I got people in my chat that are staunch 10 toes down ADOS, and I welcome y'all. You know, my issue ain't with y'all. My issue was with Yvette Carnell minimizing Dr. Claude Anderson. That was my issue. You know, so I'm not here to jump in the middle of which side people take. Yeah, CBCCS, I'm cool with ADOS supporters. Had what's her name, Yvette Carnell, not jumped all up in my Twitter. This is years ago now, but talking shit about Dr. Claude Anderson, because Dr. Claude Anderson's special to me. For those of you, just so I can get back to the point, I first saw Dr. Claude Anderson in my church when I was 14 or 15 years old. I was a teenager, and he used to come to my church. And the things that he's talking about on the internet now, I heard him say when I was 15. So he has a very special place in my heart, and I read all of his books. Cornel West, J.A. Rogers, and Carter G. Woodson are the only people I read all their books. Well, I still haven't gotten to all of Carter G. Woodson's books. I think I have like 2 or 3 left I didn't read. But he's somebody that means the world to me. And in her spite towards Tariq, she disrespected somebody I adore. You know, well, I don't have an issue with anybody that's ADOS. You could be ADOS and be fine in my chat room. This isn't a place I'm gonna put you out. You FBA, you're 100,000% with me. Hell, even if you're Pan-Africans are welcome. I get why people want to be Pan-African. I used to be Pan-African. I changed my stance based on observation. But if somebody's still Pan-African, you're welcome in my chat room. You're welcome. If you're Mexican, you're welcome. If you're white, you're welcome. If you're Asian, you're welcome. If you're gay, trans, everybody's welcome here. Here's the difference. My point of view is clear. My only thing is just don't be, when I have something to say, if you're going to challenge me, you better come with some substance. You better educate me. And that's the only thing. I have my point of view, and that's what it is. If you don't like it, that's fine. You can either say and listen, or you can leave on, but you're not going to come at me and on some emotional shit. You can. I'm welcome to challenge. I'm open to challenge, but you better bring substance with it, not straw arguments. I was on the debate team in college. I know how to fish out a fallacy, and I will call it out. But as long as the terms are clear and you know where you at, I'm very clear about who I am, very open about who I am, and you down with it, then I'm cool with you. That's real talk, JB Furious. Just don't come in here with no bullshit. You can be whatever you are, just don't come in here with no bullshit. And the reason why you can't come to bullshit with me is because I don't bullshit y'all. Chat room, y'all know me, I don't bullshit y'all. When I tell y'all something, I give you sources, I give you books, I give you context. I could be talking, if I'm talking about something that happened in 2015, I'm gonna first talk about what happened in 1970 to get you to 2015, so you understand the context. Then I'm gonna tell you my opinion. That's because I have respect for y'all. I got love for y'all. And I assume everyone has extremely high intelligence. And if you jive with what I say, I expect people to look up what I talk about. I expect people to research what I'm saying. That's because I respect y'all. So, yeah, 2 bad jokes is a limit. But back to what I was saying about, so right before I went live just now, I clicked on the Viral Ray podcast because I saw that they're going to interview Snoop. I was like, are they going to interview Snoop? That's dope as fuck. That's because Snoop, you know me, I love Snoop. We see all the shit. We all know. Your chat room, y'all know. But in spite of all that other shit, Snoop's music means the world to me because that's just Snoop Dogg's the soundtrack of my life. It is. Blue Carpet Treatment. My favorite Snoop album is The Last Meal. Ego Trippin', Bush, 7 Days of Funk, Doggy Style. Rhythm and Gangster. I used to love G&N. Remember Snoop's old podcast, G&N? Especially when they had the Thanksgiving episodes. And the Thanksgiving episodes will have Slink, Too Short, Lunel, and I like Snoop. I like Snoop. Even in spite of the other shit. You know, y'all see the other shit. I don't necessarily support it. But in spite of that, I like Snoop. And people who don't like Snoop, I understand why. And y'all have the right to. And I'll never say you're wrong. I want a lot of you niggas to understand that. When I talk my shit about Jay-Z or whatever, I want y'all to understand that you have the right to still love Jay-Z. I'm just giving my point of view on what I see. And I still like some of Jay-Z's music, but he still is who he is. It is not personal. So if you guys don't like Snoop and you see that you think that he half-stepping, I see that my man, not my man, I don't know him personally, but I see Cocaine been fighting for his royalties from Death Row. But Snoop don't own no damn Death Row. Venture capitalists do. I see that move 1,000 miles away. Snoop don't own no damn Death Row. He's the face of Death Row. Venture capitalists. I don't know which group, but they own Death Row. The people who put the money up on companies, not the face. Like Jay-Z doesn't own Rock Nation, Live Nation does. With that being said, I still fuck with Snoop. Still bump his music, and I love his interviews. Because Snoop has a lot of game. One thing I'll give credit to Snoop for, y'all can feel however y'all feel about Snoop, but if you ever sit down and listen to a Snoop Dogg interview, if the interviewer knows how to ask the right questions, Snoop will give you game. I remember one time, I'll get to that, Frank Green. What's up, Willie Mays? But going back to what I was saying about Snoop. Snoop, he did an interview one time with Arian Foster. I think that's one of the best music interviews I've ever heard. Y'all remember the running back Arian Foster? Arian Foster used to have a podcast, and he interviewed Snoop. If you can find that interview, go check it out. Especially if you're an artist. Look up the interview with Arian Foster and Snoop. One of the best interviews But Snoop said some real shit. Snoop said when he made Murder Was the Case, he saw that he ended up on trial for murder. And he said he got to see right away how powerful his lyrics are. And lyrics really go up to God, and you really got to watch what you say. And if you notice, Murder Was a Case, Doggy Style, after that, Snoop really did start changing up his lyrics. His lyrics got fun. He went lyrically to fun. He went lyrically to love music, rhythm and gangster. He went lyrically to some pimp shit too. He did pimp and love. And he started to explore musically. He did some country shit. He did some Rasta shit. He did 7 Days of Funk with Dame Funk. And I've always appreciated Snoop creatively. He takes risks. He jumps around. I love that about artists. So, but again, everything else y'all say about Snoop, that's true too. Well, not on no true, because I ain't gonna say facts. I don't say everything, because I don't know what everybody's saying, but the cautions people have about his connections to the other man, I get why y'all say that too. And I see it. But I don't believe in following any athlete, entertainer, artist. You follow your own spirit. You value entertainers for what they give you. And Rhythm and Gangster, Blue Carpet Treatment, The Last Meal, though the East Siders, 213, those are forever. The Dog Pound, that's forever in my rotation. I'm always gonna listen to 213 the hard way. Always. The rest of my life, I'm gonna be listening to Ooh, I'm Fly, yeah. I'm never listening to Snoop Lion though. I'm not listening to that. I thought Malice in Wonderland was, I did not like Malice in Wonderland. But I did like Missionary. I like Missionary. That's a tangent, but I'm saying that to say, Joystick, she acts like she wants to ride my joystick. Come on, bruh. 213 the hard way is my summertime anthem. When I open my grill up, then I'll be playing Another Summer. Backyard full of women. That's what I'm be playing. Paid the Cost. Hell yeah, Paid the Cost Be the Boss. On Paid the Cost Be the Boss, he got my favorite song on that album is Boss Player and Long Beach to Brick City with Meth. Sorry, with Redman. I'm a jump back, roll that, man. Long Beach to Brick City, come on now. I know just what you want, not just what you need. D-O-double-G, won't you keep it gangster, please? I love Long Beach to Brick City. That's one of my top 5 Snoop songs, Long Beach to Brick City, on Paid the Cost Be the Boss album. But, so, let's get back to what I was talking about. I went off on my Snoop Dogg tangent. Just let y'all know where I stand, you know? I know how to listen to the music and throw out the rest. I love Bush. Stuns, I thought that Bush was got overlooked. You can be a movie star. Los Angeles. Pharrell and Stevie Wonder. Man, come on now. But real talk, Raina Butler, real talk. So when I saw that the Viral Ray was going to have Snoop, like I never really watched the whole show. I've only seen clips. The only whole show I watched was when they were on with Glasses Malone, and I thought that it was a great discussion. I agree with Glasses' points. I agree with their points. I walked away agreeing with most of what both said. They had opposing points of view on when to address white supremacists and when not to, and I actually agree with them both. But today, I clicked on it because I saw that they're going to interview Snoop, so I'm trying to figure out when. Because I'm going to be the first one to watch it. And I'm still going to watch it. I love Snoop. So I'm still gonna watch their interview with Snoop. And Snoop got my boy Charlie Burrell's last album released. Man, Snoop let my boy Charlie Burrell and Joseph Lionberg do a completely live music album. How many record executives are doing that? You gotta give Snoop credit for that. Charlie, go look up Charlie Burrell's last album he did on Death Row. It's an amazing album. Joseph Lionberg, the producer. All live instruments. Ooh, shit. So, yes, I did it live on Afro Man. Gonna check that. Yeah, shouts out to Eagle Rock. Yeah, Joseph was a good dude. But while I was watching them talk about Snoop, and again, I'm still going to support the interview. I saw him go into talking about, like, he played a video, and I saw him going and talk about, like, 19 Keys has been out there lately talking bad about FBA and leadership, and now the Viral Ray dude was talking about it. When I heard him talking about it, I was thinking, number one, it's probably a play to get Tariq. I saw they want Tariq on the show, so it's probably a play to get Tariq to interview with them. And I think if that's a play, then that's a good play. And I think it would be dope to see Tariq Nasheed sit down with them. I am not a hater. I want everybody to be successful in this game. You know what I mean? So if he's just saying, I don't know the brother's name, the dark one with the glasses. I don't know the brother's name. Can somebody help me tell me his name in the chat, please? Because it's a bunch of them. I don't want to. Do y'all know his name? Oh yeah, Jay Hancock is fired. I'm probably gonna see her at the Blue Note later this month. Well, I think she's next month. But I'm probably gonna see her at the Blue Note. So, if what they're doing is a play to get Tariq onto the show, I hope it works. I hope it works out. But when I saw what I saw a bunch of confusion. Mr. Viral's what he goes by. And what I saw was a dude talking down on reparations. And he was saying he was saying the same old thing that people say. Why are we worried about reparations? We're not going to get them from our oppressor. Well, that just doesn't follow logic. America oppressed and enslaved the Irish and then gave them freedom dues. America oppressed, especially this time 100 years ago, America really did oppress Jews. That's not bullshit. They really did, man. No niggers and Jews was a common sign on buildings this time 100 years ago. And after years and years and years and years of fighting and organizing, America is giving them reparations times 10. America got bombed by Japan. Turned around and oppressed Japan by demilitarizing Japan. One of the agreements after World War II was to remove Japan's military. And that's why they've flown that flag with the red dot and the white flag. But lately, Japan's been having that other flag, the rising sun flag. And the rising sun flag is a military flag. But America still gave them money. America gives money to people it oppresses all the time. America's always given money to people that are oppressed. Always. And as the Viral Way podcast went on, Mr. Viral was saying that we're not going to get, like, he started doing straw arguments. Well, look at what's going on. Why ain't we talking about an energy crisis? Why ain't we talking about the war in Iran? Why aren't we talking about these data centers that drain our energy? And because, let me deal with the data centers point. That's a major problem going on in Memphis, and people in Memphis really need to pay attention to that. In that lower part of Tennessee into northern Mississippi, Louisiana, y'all gotta watch out for that. But the data centers thing is a local issue, and most black people don't live in areas of large data centers. But most black people do need reparations. Yeah. You can't, on one hand, say, why would you ask this government for anything and take a side politically? You can't do both. Later on, he got in talking about Trump and what Trump ain't doing and how we need to get Trump out of office. Let me give you guys a very simple talking point for people who talk like this. Let me give you guys a very simple talking point. You have two ways you can play it. You can either participate in politics or not participate in politics. Those are your only two choices, right? And if you're the latter, if you're the one that doesn't participate in politics, you don't believe in it, you don't like it, you don't fuck with it, what I'm going to say next does not apply to you. Because if you don't participate in politics, I respect your decision to not participate. You have very valid reasons for not participating. So I'm one to give respect to people to be like, look, I'm just trying to make my money. I don't give a fuck about none of this political shit. You're not gonna get me I'm not gonna be one of the niggas that chastise y'all. Hell no, I support your decision to not participate. That's fine by me. What I'm gonna say is directed at people who do participate politically, meaning you use time and energy to vote for either party, left or right, doesn't matter. This is for those who do take time to study the propositions and to vote on the propositions in their local and state elections. This is for you guys, for us. If you're going to spend the time to participate in politics, the most efficient way you can spend that time is by having an agenda. And your agenda should be self first. Politics is selfish. You vote for your self-interest. You vote your wallet. And I encourage people to study civics. I encourage people to study government and people to study politics. It doesn't take much to study. You can get a good civics lesson in one good YouTube video. It can teach you all you need to know about civics. Political science, find yourself a good political science teacher on YouTube and go away. Listen, pay attention. Because in politics, what you'll learn in political science is how government works is agendas are created by people. Congressmen and senators don't create agendas. They only champion agendas constituents push. And everything you vote for, somebody somewhere organized got with lawyers, got that thing placed in the legislature, and they found a state senator to champion and put it as a bill. And then when it got put in as a bill, they spent money and time and resources to lobby for that to go through. And usually when things finally get signed into law, that's after 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, sometimes 40, sometimes 50 years of lobbying. You can trace Obama's 2012 gay marriage, lifting gay marriage, to Harvey Milk in 1976 in San Francisco. If you go from 76 to 2012, what's that? 30, I'm high, what, 35 years? You can see where from Harvey Milk to federal gay marriage rights, that was a 35-year fight. Gay marriage was on the ballot in 2008 in California and got defeated. Gay marriage was on state ballots nationwide and continued to get defeated. From Massachusetts to California to Colorado, gay marriage was getting defeated. They stuck with it consistently for about 35 years. Now that lobby runs the Democrat Party. But that's after 35, 40 years of constant effort. Elusino, everybody's excluded. This is what you got to understand about government. The government doesn't like us. The government don't like people that classify as white. The government don't like people that classify as Asian. Everybody's excluded. This is a small party for extremely wealthy white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. That's who this government benefit. The only people this government benefits. Extremely wealthy, landowning, oligarch, Anglo-Saxon Protestants. Everyone else has to organize to fight for a scrap. A government is only as good as its people. And the reason why the United States government traditionally has been somewhat more open than other nations are with their government is because of the people. The revolution was started by a bunch of thugs. They weren't an army. They were a bunch of they were guerrilla warfare militants. This country is very, very, very much so oppositional defiant. And if you're outside of that 1%, the only piece of a scrap you're going to get is what you fight for. What black people got to understand is the way the government is, it's not personal. It's like this with everybody. And when we as black people remove our emotions and get focused on an agenda, historically, we've always won. I study history. I don't think of it. I can't name any time that we've gotten focused on an agenda we didn't win. Now, here's also what happens. We focus in on an agenda, we win, we get set victory, and we relax, and we think everything is good. That's how everything is taken away. The 1960s civil rights movement was just a replay of the 1860s civil rights movement. Black Americans' flaw isn't not getting what we organized for. Black Americans' flaw is once we get it, we relax and think that everything is okay instead of paying attention to like what the Jewish lobby did and what the gay lobby did. The gay lobby got gay marriage, and them motherfuckers ain't sat down. You say the word FAG, you're going to get banned from life. When it's like when they used their momentum to turn it up. Traditionally, when we get a momentum and get what we want, we relax. That's the difference. Anybody who takes an honest look at our history, we see that we win regardless of circumstances. Reconstruction is what we fought for. If we stay vigilant in the 70s, we can see that word minority and be like, We would have kept lobbying and we would have got that shit changed too. Yes, they always throw a switch in the deck. Yes, they do. So since you know that, keep pushing, nigga. They're not gonna change. That's stupid to think anybody will change for your black ass. You get the win and you keep pressing. You keep pushing the line. You keep pushing the line. That's the only thing we didn't do. My dad always told me, my dad used to tell me this when I was 10. My dad was like, my dad told me this. He reminded me of this probably like 6 months ago. He was like, man, our parents and everything, we did all that fighting in the 60s. He was saying this at Uncle Moon's funeral because this was one of Uncle Moon's sayings. And my dad brought it back up at Uncle Moon's funeral. Uncle Moon used to always say, yeah, we thought we had some shit in the 60s. And when Reagan got in office, the music was good, the movies was good, Shaft, Superfly, Curtis Mayfield, Aretha Franklin, James Brown. He said, so we thought everything was good. So when we was dancing and feeling tickled and the music was tickling us, Nixon was tickling he said that wasn't the music tickling us, that was Nixon tickling our balls before he bent us over and fucked us. I remember my first time hearing Uncle Moon say that when I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. We were talking about late 80s, he told me this, when crack was real big in LA. Uncle Moon, and so at Uncle Moon's funeral back in December, people brought that up. That was Uncle Moon saying, while we was feeling tickled, all that was Reagan and was Nixon and Reagan tickling our balls. Fizbee said, FBA never stopped the fight, stop it. Marion Barry and Harold Washington were 30 years ago, brother. 30 years ago. Don't blame that on tethers. Maxine Waters is in office now here in LA. I live in Maxine Waters District. You can't play that on me. She's not a tether. Maxine Waters helped uncover the crack epidemic in 1989. I was a kid. I remember Maxine Waters was a hero when I was a kid because she helped Dick Gregory and Gary Webb get Oliver North to admit to bringing crack into LA. And Maxine Waters ain't done shit for black people since. So let's stop that. Can't blame everything on tethers. Maxine Waters is not a tether. I live in her district. Let's stop that. We got to call a spade a spade. One thing we got to do is tell the truth. Has everybody stopped fighting? No. There always been, one thing about Black Americans, we've always had pockets of people who've never stopped the fight. I'm talking about the masses. We relaxed. Hell, if we were still fighting, and if we were in the position that we're in right now, being gentrified out of our neighborhood, and we were fighting, that means we some sorry ass fighters. That means we some journeymen. That must mean our boxing record is 2-78. Don't you dare put that on us. We lose because we stopped fighting. Overall, we got relaxed. My dad used to say that all the time. My dad said that all the time. The 70s, the music was good. My dad was like, yeah, we let y'all generation down because when we should have been going further, we was partying. You can blame it on Obama being a tether all you want. But like the movie Sinner said, you invite the devil in your house. We didn't ask for shit from Obama other than be Black and be faithful to Michelle and don't have any scandals. It's just a fact. Meanwhile, the gay lobby had all kind of money that they was putting in his pockets. Hey, we got that book about you now. Because remember, Obama, according to the books, what's been said about him is he's gay. I don't know, it's alleged. But it's been books written by so-called former lovers that have been published that didn't get sued for defamation. So a dude wrote a published book in 2019 talking about Dookie loving Obama, and he didn't get sued for defamation. He might be something there. They put that money in his pocket. Only thing we wanted was, just don't embarrass Black people. We invited the devil in. That goes back to not fighting. In 1960, our vote meant something. We didn't choose parties in 1960, even though we were predominantly Republican. We became issue-based. What Black people got to do is study that time between 1920 and 1960. Pay attention real quick. I'm going to take y'all down a tangent. Pay attention. If you notice, when they talk about the Civil Rights Movement, they jump from the end of Reconstruction to 1960. There's no way you can adequately understand 1960 without understanding 1915 to 1959. 1915, Black people overwhelmingly support Woodrow Wilson in the election, 1914. We overwhelmingly support Woodrow Wilson. We get Woodrow Wilson in office. World War I jumps off. Woodrow Wilson creates segregation. Segregation wasn't as big before Woodrow Wilson. Black people could have government jobs before Woodrow Wilson. We could manage white people before Woodrow Wilson. You had unions that kept us out of certain things, but we could still work government stuff in high-paying positions. Woodrow Wilson is the one that took Black people from working government jobs. and took us out of, made it a lot of where we couldn't manage white people. And he flipped our economy overnight after we elected him. Then we had to deal with the Red Summer 1919. When all those black towns got burned down. And then, so by 1920, 1922, we're in these new cities. We're in the north, we're in Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Cleveland. And we see that it's no better than what was happening down south. So we created a Renaissance period, the new black. The Renaissance period wasn't just a Harlem Renaissance, it was the Harlem Renaissance. There was a Renaissance in Cleveland, Cincinnati, Dayton, Detroit, Chicago, LA, Kansas City. Well, Kansas City Renaissance happened just before the New York Renaissance. St. Louis, all of these cities go into a Renaissance period. The new black, where we're not going to define ourselves by slavery. We're not going to define ourselves by being sharecroppers. We are new black people. And that also started the new civil rights movement. A. Philip Randolph, Ida B. Wells, these people are very integral and key to this time. So many more. Callie House before them. You have Booker T. Washington dies mysteriously in 1915. He was the shining star for black people, and he dies mysteriously. It's still shade around how Booker T. Washington died. Now you got Garvey coming up, and we're coming into a new thing, and that's when the civil rights movement starts. Then we get into the 30s, you get a major voice like Paul Robeson. And during that time, we started to get back things that we lost. We started to really stand up and fight. And when Dr. King and Malcolm X came along, Malcolm X was born in, what year was King born? What, 1929? Chat room, give me the years King and X were born. King, X, they're born into the movement is, what year was King born? 29, yeah. So the movement is 10 years old by the time Dr. King is born. That takes on a whole different frame, don't it? That gives you a totally different frame, don't it? The movement that was won in 1963 started 10 years before Dr. King was born. So what King and X get credit for pushing over the hill started before, but they stood on the shoulders of giants. They stood on A. Philip Randolph's shoulders. They stood on Paul Robeson's shoulders. They don't even tell y'all about Paul Robeson. Paul Robeson got MK Ultra in 1960. Paul Robeson was the best athlete, singer, and actor in America. Paul Robeson had the #1 song, the #1 movie, and he was a motherfucking 5-star athlete. Yeah, Adam Clayton Powell. He was a black boy, but Paul Robeson took a drink in Moscow in 1960 and was never the same. His head went. and he ended up becoming a recluse and moving into an apartment in Santa Monica and dying in 1974. But he went from being the sharpest individual, and he's been completely written out of history. We must talk about Paul Robeson more. Right, Mr. Smoke. He got zapped. One drink in Moscow. It's been said that those were the early days of MK Ultra. That's what I've read. I don't know if that's true or not. That's alleged. But, and it's crazy it happened in Russia because Paul Robeson had a great relationship with the Russians, with Moscow. So we got to understand that anything worth getting, it takes sometimes 2 generations to get. And nobody gets everything they want the first time. And no one gets to keep what they got. Look at America. Because people say, okay, black people are silly. It's America in general. White America got the New Deal. They got the largest benefits from the New Deal. White America relaxed. White America got the Republicans to get connected with Jesus. And white America, from starting with Nixon, because they're so racist and didn't want black people to have a dime, they voted in their own demise through Nixon, through Reagan, through Bush, and nailed in the coffin through Trump. Because of hate, ignorance, and letting their foot off the gas. Instead of them being focused on getting more from America, they got relaxed and said, hey, as long as we got more than these niggas. And now what are they doing? Listen to this Nick Fuentes, crying like hoes, talking about the white supremacist America. And everything that America gave them, starting with the New Deal, has been rolled back. The big, beautiful bill basically obliterated the New Deal. So that's just not a fact that's black people. That's just a fact that's an American and your civic duty. As an American, your civic duty is, even when you get what you want, you continue to push the line. And that is how politics is done. And that's how anyone who says they're going to participate in politics should view it. Or be like what I said earlier. And say, you know what? Fuck all this shit and don't participate. And that's just as good. But if you're going to participate, educate yourself. Don't listen to me, fuck it. Don't listen to me, ain't gonna listen to me. I just say go pick up a civics book. Go learn some political science, and then once you take political science and study political science and you see how politics works, whether you're white, black, red, yellow, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Independent, once you understand how the system works, because it's a system, systems can be learned. And you learn where your leverage is, and part of your leverage is, okay, as a voter, if I choose to participate politically, reparations is one of my issues. And seeing that no matter how many immigrants you let over, they all turn Republican, or most of them turn Republican after their second time voting, you might need our vote. So if you need my vote and I'm going to participate politically, I might as well throw my hat in the race and tell you what I want, right? And it doesn't mean you're sitting around waiting. When I got a call from CJEC on how I can help with reparations for music artists, I had that Zoom meeting. I was writing my book, and I took an hour break from writing my book to have that meeting with CJEC. Then when I was done with that meeting, I went back to writing my book. Oh, I wasn't sitting around. You mean to tell me you're not sitting around waiting on reparations? No. I'm living my life, having a great time. But the time that I choose to spend towards politics, I'm making use of my time spent in politics with an agenda for reparations. And then I'm going back to work. So when I saw a dude say, pay attention, why are you sitting around waiting? That's just the lamest thing that people can say. Why are you sitting around waiting? No one's waiting for reparations. If anybody was waiting for reparations, they'd be evicted right now, right? If somebody has an apartment or a house, they're obviously not waiting, because the only way they can stay in that apartment or house is by paying the mortgage or their rent every month. And if the house is paid off, paying the property taxes. If they're paying the property taxes, the mortgage, the rent, that means they're obviously working, or obviously have some way of producing income to pay for these things, pay for their car notes, go on vacation, take the kids to Disneyland. So to say people are waiting for reparations, that's just a non-starter. Chat room. What's up, Don Philly? How many of y'all in the chat are waiting for reparations? We need money before we need land. Let me tell you something as a landowner. Land is useless without money. I got some land now I want to do something with. But, permits cost money. Here in California, some rural land, you got to do something called a phase 1. Phase 2, especially this mountainside. They dig down there, and that phase 1, they testing the soil for samples, for contamination. And if it's on a slope, they're testing to see how far down the bedrock is. And so but it costs money to get those phase 1s and phase 2s done. And then to hire an architect, that takes money. Then where your land is under the administration and the opinion of city planners and managers. So whatever land you own, you gotta first see what it's zoned as. And you have to build within context of whatever that zoning is. And that costs money. Then when it comes time to build something, you wanna have, you can get away with 20%, but you wanna have 40% of that cost in cash. Like loan companies, they're not doing those loans like they did in 2006 to where you get 110% loan to value, no income, no asset. In order for you to get money, you still have to show at the end the ability to repay the loan, especially if you're in Texas. Texas don't play with their loans. Texas, your shit better be on point in Texas. Texas do not, one thing I like about Texas don't do, so man, Texas don't do risky loans. They do not do risky loans. You have to have cash in hand. What's up, man? You got to have cash in hand to develop a property. And you have to show an ability to repay. You can't just get money based on the land of the loan. You get money based on your ability to repay the loan. So even if the land is worth $1 million, yeah, you might get somebody that's hard money that can just say, okay, I'll give you 40% loan to value. Here's $400,000 on this $1 million land. Okay, fine. In today's world, it's gonna cost you about $3 million to build a multi-unit apartment building in Southern California. About $3 million is what it's gonna take to build an apartment building. How you gonna cover the rest? So the land stuff sounds good, but we need money. Land is no good without money. I'll take land too. I almost definitely take land. But land without the capital to cultivate the land, it's just land. Somebody said, I never got a bank loan in my life and got multiple properties in Louisiana. Well, welcome to the 1%. I'm speaking to the 99%. Salute to you. That's just not realistic for 99% of people. One of my pieces of land came without a loan too. But I understand that that's an exception and not the rule. So I speak to the rule, not the exception, okay? I paid my own way through college, cash, being a loan officer, okay? I don't come on here and profess to still be a loan officer because I ain't did that shit in 20 years, but I paid my way through college cash because I was a damn good loan officer. So I'm not pulling this out my ass, okay? Cash is king. Cash is king. And if you're going to choose to spend time in politics, you might as well have an agenda. So that's why I say to people who say, we ain't gonna sit around and wait on reparations. Well, who's sitting around? It's just, in my opinion, a more efficient way of using my time when I choose to participate in politics. Now, I also vote for other things, you know. People who, you know, like I look at the city manager of my city. When I see that they're not picking up, the street sweeper isn't picking up trash consistently, then I'm gonna have to holler at the city manager. And when it comes time to vote and that city manager position's on the file, I'm gonna have to vote against the city manager who, when they were in office, they became less efficient at sweeping up my streets. They don't take care of the when I need to call into the city for something, it's now a 20-minute wait on the line when it used to be a 3-minute wait on the line. And the parks and recs, you know, are they getting the resources that they need from the city manager? And pay attention to that. So I vote for that, all that shit locally. But also, if CJEC is allowed to, if they get a bill for reparations placed in the California State Legislature, I'm also telling my local politician, hey, what's your vote on that? I need to know, you gonna vote yes or no on that reparations bill? That's part of a political agenda that I'm already participating in. Or don't participate. That's cool too. You don't need everybody, you just need enough. You don't need everybody, you just need enough. What does Professor Black Truth say? A Big Tent is only thing the Big Tent is good for is a circus. Yeah, Biz Marty, don't be a Jay Morrison. Just don't be a Jay Morrison. Don't be a Umar preaching something you don't even believe in. Not opening schools and then changing up movements, and because don't do that. Question. This might be off topic. Is he watching, listen to the spinners? Yeah, I'm about to get off here and listen to some music too. But I got a question for y'all. Do anybody still watch Boyce Watkins? I ain't seen nothing from Boyce lately. I know he got me blocked on Twitter. It's just a question. Does anybody in here still watch Boyce? And if you do, it's cool. I ain't tripping. You said, hell no. Boris Shock said no. I ain't heard no. B. Amos said who? And he said we don't do scammers no more. He said hell nah. Real talk, Mr. Smoke. Oh yeah, Kwame Brown cooking him was funny. See, I see most people in here talking. Some means for y'all, based on what y'all saying, y'all at one time listen to Boyce Watkins, right? I listened to a lot of Boyce in 2018, 16. I like Boyce. I like Boyce. I did. But when I saw him talking about crime in Chicago, and he was talking about us as black people, what we need to do, like, nigga, you live in Chicago. The fuck you want me to do from LA? He switched up big when he got the new teeth. When the boy started talking like this, and he like, yeah, I got a new Wall Street class, and I'm going to have Dr. Claude Anderson on next time. And yeah, next time we're going to talk about the new, what's going on with the Biden administration. When that nigga started looking like Chuck E. Cheese, it was over. Oh yeah, pre-teeth voice was on point. Pre-new teeth voice, that was some good YouTube 2015, 2016. When boys had them piranha teeth, that was a valuable hour of my time. Because it didn't matter that his teeth looked like he was chewing on rocks. He was saying some good things to help people get their finances in order. Motherfucker's teeth. That nigga's teeth was looking like Barranca. Y'all remember Barranca? What was that, Mortal Kombat? Barranca? A Street Fighter. Nigga had them teethers. He was saying some hot shit, and that he was giving some good advice on money and tying it into a social context. Yeah, Baraka, yeah. He was bringing us Dr. Claude Anderson and pre-Tifa's voice, boy. I was a cold motherfucker. But then he came on one day talking like this. And he started talking like this. He started getting very gossipy, you know? I'm gonna start talking to people, you know, because I'm married now and my teeth is straight, so I'm gonna start gossiping about other channels. And then when I gossip about other channels, I remind every 15 lines, I'm gonna tell people, you know, I got a PhD from Harvard. And you know, the new PhD, that's what makes me qualified to talk about the relationship between Cardi B and Stephon Diggs. Because I got a PhD from Harvard. And it was like, all right. I miss pre-teeth voice. YouTube could use pre-teeth voice right now. I ain't gonna front. I ain't even gonna front. YouTube could use pre-teeth voice. You know, after he took Jay Morrison's side, and then his response when people got home, because he acted like black people, remember Boyce acted like black people were wrong because black people questioned him over the Jay Morrison thing. Me personally, I never donated to the nigga. He just came out of nowhere. And he looked like, Jay Morrison looked like if Damon Stoudemire never played basketball. He just looked, I'm like, yeah, nah, I ain't, something about this guy. But it was the level he endorsed him. See, like, I remember Tariq endorsed Jay Morrison too. But Tariq was like, well, shit, this is how shit go. And that's a fact. Whether you like it or not, even if Boyce just said, you know what? Yeah, I endorse them, but hey, that's how shit go. Like, shit, I ain't always right, man. Whatever, I apologize. That would have been good. But Boyce didn't do that. Boyce took that as a time to start chastising black people and why we wrong and why we don't do it to the white man, so why we gonna do it to ourselves? And no, these people trusted you with their money. And at the end of the day, even though other people endorsed them, you're the money guy. That's the difference. That's the difference. You're the money guy. So if everyone else said he's cool, the fact that you're the money guy with a PhD, your word means more than everybody else combined. And to have that defensive tone you had, that's when I was just like, yeah. I had been stopped watching them by that point, but that's when I was just like, yeah, context matters. When I talk to y'all about music, I only say what I can defend. And if I misspeak and something comes out down the line that I can't defend, then at that point I have to apologize. But one thing I can't do is turn around and call y'all stupid for saying, hey, Dwann, we trusted you to have this information correct and you didn't. Why would I call you stupid if y'all trusted me, somebody who puts himself out there to be somebody who understands music history? Well, I would have to be disappointed in myself, not you. My disappointment would be with myself. Like, damn, I already fucked up. They really depended on me to have that right, and I didn't. Like, I didn't mean to. I thought I was right. Then I just have to apologize. I couldn't call y'all stupid. That's weird. He said, Dana said, Voice has real but no sound money advice. Yeah. And people started to see it. And we didn't even talk about, dude, you brought us Cynthia G. You brought the other chick that be loud as hell. I'm not saying she wrong. She just be too loud for me. I forgot her name, but she be loud as hell. Michi X. No, nothing wrong with her. I ain't got no issues with Michi X. It's just me. I'm from the hood, so when I get certain hood tones, I be like, I gotta go. No. But she speaks to a lot of people, so, whatever. You brought us Yvette Carnell. You allow Yvette Carnell to disrespect Farrakhan. It's a lot of rebel rousers that came through your channel. That's a pattern right there, boy. And then the one that's not, then Vicky Dillard, Vicky cool as hell. She had to get the fuck up on out of there. She just, yeah. The one that wasn't crazy, she had to leave. I'm not saying that the other ones are crazy, but y'all remember I was on the episode of Fox Soul with Cynthia G. Press number 1 if you remember that. It was me, Dr. Umar, Cynthia G, and then this trans woman that we didn't know was actually a dude. Fox Soul never invited my ass back after that. Umar was like, my beautiful sister, this beautiful sister. And I thought it was a woman too. But I don't address women like that. I think the name was like Giselle. I just addressed, but yeah. But that was a dude. And Cynthia G. Them niggas ain't called me since. Then my man Mark Prince came on after and cooked them niggas for how they try to play us. Yeah, Umar was spitting. Crazy thing was pre-show, Umar didn't say nothing to me, and I didn't say nothing to him. We got on about 15 minutes before the show started. And it was me, Umar, Cynthia Gianna, the trans. But it was for about 5 minutes, it was just me, Umar were the first ones to join. And it was just us. He didn't say nothing to me. I didn't say nothing to him. I don't think it's Fox goes to the thing, but after that episode, we made sure, that's why I went on 5150 after the episode, because Corey called them out. Corey called them out so bad. Salute to Corey Holcomb, man. Corey going through a whole lot right now, but I'm pulling for the brother. I'm pulling for I'm not commenting on what's going on lately with 5150 because we all see what's going on, but I keep positive vibes, but I'm out. Let the mother niggas react. I got other things to talk about, but salute to Corey Holcomb. But that was the last time I did 5150. That nigga Corey saw that bullshit. And Corey saw that bullshit and was like, he busted Fox Soul out. Ooh, they had a meeting. It was so bad that they had a meeting. And they changed their whole policy up after that. Yeah. I think Foxhole is sitting around. I think. If it isn't, good riddance. Fuck Foxhole. Real talk here to there. Sometimes you gotta chill. In life, people play their cards the way they best see fit. And with Corey, like a lot of them jokes that dude for Flacco been putting out, I probably saw all those episodes, and those jokes would be cringe. But you knew Corey was talking. The joke's really about the mother. But it was one of the things where just like, even when he would say them jokes, it'd be like, yeah, nah, whatever. But nothing about Corey tells you he's that way. And everything about Corey shows that he will say anything and he will go to the lowest of low for a joke. That's just his style. So most of the low jokes are funny. Some jokes be like, but you know it comes from a good place. But man, they on his ass right now, boy. But I'm sure he'll get through it. Sure he'll get through it. If he goes back to relying on his funny, he'll 100% get through it. That's real talk. The microphone is a very dangerous weapon. That's real talk, Dana. You talking about that funky Dineva dude? Yeah. Real talk, I am that I am. That's real talk. I agree. Life goes round. And 5150 pushes a lot of buttons. So, you got people who've been waiting in the wings, waiting for their opportunity. Now they see opportunity that they striking. He'll be all right. Real talk. Mr. EA tells you he's a dirtbag, so it's a very honest show. Yeah. But yeah, man. But like all that. Again, I didn't watch the whole viral show, but just the part that I did see, it was just like, don't, bruh. I think that the eyes, like I said, I've only really watched them in clips, but in a lot of their clips, and I saw that full episode with Glasses belong in the viral rate. I think they got some intelligent brothers over there. But just, brother, don't insult the intelligence of people. Don't insult the intelligence of black people. That'd be a bad move for your channel. Black people is all you got. You're not gonna cross over, but you can't. I think that channel can go a very long way with a black core audience. I think that channel can. I think that channel can, if they really understand they people and their culture, then they play to their culture, not some we all in this together. If they play to their culture, to their people, that channel could easily have 500,000, 700,000 subs, getting 150, 200,000 views a video. I think that viral podcast has that level of talent to where they can get 250, 300,000 views a video, But playing your people like your people are dumb, that won't help. YouTube won't let you super chat. Well, cash at me, $Dwann B1. That's real talk, like when I heard him talking on that show today, I said, I only listened to like 15 minutes of it, but I was like, y'all need to study what's going on in Iran. Brother, I've been knowing what's going on in Persia. I can tell you what's going on over there in Persia the last 100 years off the top of my head. You don't want to go there, bro. Just don't play us like we stupid. People ain't paying attention to the economy. No, we are. We are. Don't play black people for dumb, man. I don't want to see that. I think that out of all the group podcasts, I think that the viral way has the most potential. But you read about that here, that they're trying to outsmart people. You can't. No. It's people who've been in the space for years before that podcast came around. And you're not going to outsmart us. You're not. But like I said, it could just be a play to get Tariq on. He might just really want to get an episode of Tariq. And if that's a play he's running, that's fine. That's a damn good play to run. He probably don't believe none of this shit. He probably don't believe none of that shit he's talking about. You got to always remember that too. A lot of people on these podcasts don't be believing what they say. They just know how to say things to get whatever result that they want. And I don't see any harm in that. Yeah, Ellis, hopefully he just matures some. He a young bull, He a young bull, so hopefully that young bull just matures some. Like I'm not one to be too punitive. Like I don't know. When I see young black men trying, maybe and not just young black men and women. When I see people in their 20s, early 30s is really pushing in the right direction and in the direction for their people, I have a space for that, and in that space that I hold for those people, I also hold a space for understanding their mistakes and wrongs, because experience corrects mistakes. But at the same time, if y'all not tolerant, I understand. You know? Brothers probably need some more experience, I'm looking at my tenants down the street. Yeah. All right, cool. I got some cool ass tenants. One of my tenants, that building, I thought about it yesterday. Me and this nigga smoked like 4 or 5 days a week. We smoked together. And I was just thinking, like, man, nobody in this building smokes. And the previous tenants, I knew that they didn't smoke. So I'm like, damn. Everybody in this building, this was a smoke-free building. And now here we come. We be blowing this motherfucker down. And the tenants have nobody to complain to, because the only person that they can complain to is me. I'm not gonna stop smoking. You can move. But ain't nobody complained yet, so we good. I thought about that just yesterday, because this particular tenant moved in about a year and a half ago. And that's my dog, you know what I mean? That's my dog. So either he smoked down here or I smoked down there. My building, shit, everybody here smoke. You walk past my building, this shit gonna smell like a weed garden. But that building, it's mostly old folks, and they don't smoke. Appreciate the super chat, Frank Green. But that building, they don't smoke. They're not old, but they're older. And one person's like 30, but Yeah, but that building, and my previous tenant, they were retired, so they didn't smoke. And the lady, she had cancer. She didn't smoke. They didn't smoke. And when me and the homie smoked, between me and him, we're going to smoke at least 3 blunts, maybe 4. But it's usually a minimum of 3. And sometimes we start our sessions at like 9 in the morning. But who they gonna complain to? Me? I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. I've been over here over 2 hours. Appreciate y'all. Patreon, I'll see y'all tomorrow. We out.